Just waiting. Can that be the intro?
Yeah. We'll leave that in as the intro. Hey guys, so I'm back with my friends here.
Hi.
Hello. We're here to talk to you guys about teaching English in Korea with EPIK.
Yes, EPIK. So Jasmine teacher here. EPIK stands for English Program in Korea. And it's essentially a government-run program where they hire native English speakers from other countries to help teach English with a Korean teacher in public schools. So it's pretty cool. Different from the private institutes because, government-run means government benefits.
Exactly. Speaking of benefits, what are some of the things that you guys saw that was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I like having that in my benefit package?
There's quite a lot of stuff. Air tickets, rent, health insurance.
Yeah.
Getting looked after by a co-teacher, so they take you to the immigration office. You're not just expected to know all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you get babysat a little bit, which is quite nice.
It's actually quite nice.
Yeah,
you get a lot of benefits. So Sarah had mentioned we get our housing paid for by the school, and we are given health insurance, which is great. You get your flights.
Flights, yeah.
Your
flights there and back, which is quite special because a lot of the hagwons, a lot of the private teaching jobs that you could get, they either pay for your flight there or your flight back, but they just pay one way, whereas EPIK does both ways.
And we also get 21 vacation days.
Yes.
Yeah.
21 vacation days.
Plus extra national holiday.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes, those add up.
Because we are technically government workers, we do get those national holidays. And
so it works out quite a lot, like a decent amount of holiday. Actually.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
I mean, we've been around the world thanks to the holidays.
Yeah, seriously. Aside from that, we also get severance pay. And then at the end of our stay here in Korea, we get a pension. And if you are American and Canadian, as far as I know, you get that pension once you leave. And then for these guys, how does that work for you guys?
Actually kind of works out a bit sucky for us. We get our pension when we are old.
That's not the end of the world.
They're saving money. They're saving money for you.
It's not the end of the world.
I want the money now.
I like to think about the long term, so I'm happy to know that I will get very small amount of money when I'm older.
Yeah, UK people, we get the money into our pension scheme, and that exists for us when we get our pensions when we are older. We don't get anything back, but it doesn't just disappear, so that's quite good.
And the longer you stay, the bigger your pension is, which is pretty great.
I think, there's quite a lot of the security of the pros for doing EPIK in comparison to private stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And even with EPIK, other countries like Japan, Taiwan, and China, I think Korea has the better package overall. There might be some other benefits that the other countries offer, but as a whole, I think Korea has a better deal with what they offer in benefits. Okay, so we mentioned before that housing is one of the benefits, and I just wanted to talk briefly about each of our housings. We all teach at different schools, and each school will provide housing for you. My place is fairly new. It's really close to the station. It's only a 10-minute walk to school. It's very small, but cozy, and it's just enough for one person. There is housing fee, as in a monthly housing fee that you have to pay, and depending on what kind of place you live in, where you live in, the prices will be different. You guys want to talk a little bit about how your places are and how they are and stuff like that?
Yeah, the one room thing is, I would say, it's pretty prevalent. So, I've got a one room situation. Well, they call it one room in Korea, but in a Korean way.
Yeah, one room. One room.
But it is literally one room. That's not to, say that's a bad thing. Everything is in the room. You've got, your bedroom, your, kitchen, bathroom. It's very cozy. Mine is a 5-minute walk away from my school, which is very convenient.
Yeah.
It's relatively new. I have maintenance fee to pay.
Yes.
Which isn't that big, and just extra bills and stuff. But it's all been very, very convenient. And you've also got one room situation.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as cozy.
Yeah.
Maybe the worst one room of all of us.
When I first saw it, I thought, it's not too bad actually. Then I saw everyone else's. I was like, this is and actually it's got worse and worse.
The realization.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I've not been able to see the plus sides that I used to be able to see. But anyway, mine is a 35-minute walk from my school, or I catch 2 different buses, which isn't very convenient. Also a 20-minute walk from the nearest subway. It is in Yeonnidong, which is quite a nice quiet area. That's not a bad thing at all.
And it's close to like quite a like fun
it's close to
young
Hongdae,
person.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it really it's a good location.
Yeah.
But it's quite an old building, and I can hear everything that happens in the building.
Like no more needs to be said. No more needs to be said.
I feel you. Mine's like that.
We all know.
The early hours of the morning, things happen in the building, which are human, natural things, and I hear them all. But Sarah and I are going to be we are currently looking for our own place.
So we're like staying on for another year, and you can either take the accommodation that the school gives you, or you can take the stipend, which actually is like worth a little bit less.
The school will pay up to 700,000 a month for your housing, but how much do you guys get if you take the stipend?
500,000 each. So it's 200,000.
If you're by yourself and you're in Seoul, you might find it difficult to find something by yourself. It's more like if you're looking to move with someone.
It's an option.
Right.
But otherwise, I would advise just taking what the school gives you, because generally, I mean, Jasmine's got great.
Jasmine has.
Moving on to Jasmine's wonderful situation that she has.
I love my place.
Yeah.
We love her place.
Like, if we lived there, it would be perfect. Like, we would never leave.
Yeah, I've had friends sleep over, like, if fit my uncle and his fiance, my younger sister, and I. So I think, like, it's a pretty decent place. And actually, because the previous teacher lived there, it's actually 750, and we're capped at 700. But the school was like, yeah, that's okay. So they let me keep the place. It's big.
It's very big.
It's very big.
The thing is, though, like, it's just like the windows, like the windows are like insane. Like, I have a window that's like literally this big. I stick my head out of it. I'm like, oh my god, there's a world out there. Like, I'm fucking Jasmine. You get to see the world constantly
on both sides.
On both sides,
2 walls.
Yeah,
just like window. One faces Bukhansan and one faces like the buildings. I'm a 45-minute walk away from work, but I can take one bus, and the bus takes like 15 minutes. I'm also walking like 2-minute walk away from like a train station, then a main bus stop, and my entire area is the neon food street. So if I don't want to cook, I can just hop downstairs and grab food.
Like, our situation is like, we live in quite like, I don't know, it's not even central, it's like slightly east of central, but like near Hongdae. So the flats are like more expensive and smaller. Jasmine like lives a bit further out, but you have the payoff of having like an amazing flat and also living like in a cheaper area. So
my grocery bills are way cheaper.
There's like pros and cons.
I was going to say, you don't really have a choice once you get here for where you live. The school already has a place provided. Most likely, they have a place provided for you. So once you get here, you're pretty much stuck there for the year. If you want to move, you can take the stipend, or you can try to ask your school to move to a different place. But that's dependent on the school, whether they want to do that or not.
You have to give them a very good reason why.
It has to be.
Like, it's got to be like mold.
Like, it has to be a health problem. Maybe.
It's the luck of the draw. I got really lucky.
I haven't heard any horror stories.
No, nothing like horrible. I mean,
Oh no, but I've heard one horror story.
Yeah.
What was the girl who didn't have a window?
Oh my god, there's a girl that didn't have a window. Wait, was she with EPIK though?
She was on the outskirts. She was at EPIK. Yeah. There's a girl who didn't have a window.
That is so depressing.
She's quite a positive person.
Yeah, like she was like living like really, really, really far out and had a flat. She was being quite positive about it. I think she was like maybe trying to like not live there actually. But yeah, she didn't have a window.
Alright, so actually moving to our schools and what we do and the work that we do, we're all at elementary schools, and we work from 8:40 to 4:40, so that's 8 hours a day, and throughout the week we teach for 22 hours, and this is on average. That always changes with each week depending on if there's like a school event or if there's a holiday of some sort, but that's the general idea of the kind of hours we work.
Well, like some schools, like you don't have enough classes to make up the 22 hours, then you might have to teach an extra class. Or like, I think, you have to do extra stuff, don't you?
Yeah, but we've planned, so I've only got 21 classes to teach a week. So to get that extra class, I do a 20-minute reading club twice a week.
Oh, okay.
That's
and
pretty
we've
good.
managed to squeeze that in a break. So yeah, it's not too bad.
I fit the 22 hours. Like, I think I was over before. Like it should have been 23, but my school didn't have the budget to pay me for the extra hours, so they just cut like a different class every week to fit into the 22. Like they're very like, they won't force you to do anything. Like they won't force you to do more than 22 hours or anything. It's very like set, fixed, like this is what you're doing.
Right. Most of the schools go exactly by the contract by book.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have anything to worry about. And
Yeah.
if you have any problems about like not getting paid or not getting enough hours for whatever reason, just contact SMOE and they should contact the school and take care of all of that. It's usually not a problem as far as working hours and getting paid.
Yeah, like some extra classes they do like giving classes, like our friend Nancy does giving classes to Korean teachers. Sometimes you can be expected to do like English classes for Korean teachers, or sometimes I think I was supposed to do this term, but it hasn't come into fruition. I'm really glad. But I think sometimes they do classes for parents too.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it'd be totally fine, but I'm like kind of glad I'm not doing it. But that
Yeah.
can also happen.
If you're actually worried about having to like teach parents or teachers, it might start out in the beginning like, yeah, they're gonna come to class and try to learn. And if you're teaching them, it's mostly just like conversation.
Yeah.
And just like stuff you see on TV, things you read, the newspaper, internet articles and stuff like that. So it's not hard. And even after a while, the teachers will get busy and then like the number of teachers coming to the class will drop.
Yeah, the enthusiasm will
Right, yeah.
die
And
slowly.
As the year progresses,
Yeah.
like you might not even have to teach the class anymore, and they just
Yeah.
say that you do.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
that-
then you're teaching 21 instead of 22 hours.
yeah, and you're just getting counted for that extra hour of class.
Yeah.
So don't worry about having to teach. I would actually rather teach teachers than some of my students. is that something we should say?
I think that makes a lot of
They're like
sense.
Jeff teachers.
Yeah. But also you can teach extra stuff sometimes, like if you want to. It's
yeah.
not like you don't have to.
Yeah.
Maybe you get tricked into doing it, like some poor people get
Yeah,
tricked
oh
into
no.
doing it. But not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what she's talking about is I was asked to do an after school class, and long story short, I ended up doing it for a little bit. The pay was really good. It counted as like an after school program rather than an after school class. So I got paid quite a lot on top of my already monthly salary. And so I did it for a couple months, but I found the workload to be a bit overbearing for me, so I decided not to do it.
Yeah, you had better things to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, you make all that money, but then you don't have time to do things.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Actually, after hearing your horror story, my school approached me for an after-school program, and
You're
I was like,
no.
I don't really need the money right now.
Yeah, we unfortunately also do after school, but
It's not after school.
yeah, it's not after school. It's on Saturday mornings, which
Yeah.
isn't ideal, but we kind of needed the extra
Yeah, we
money.
need money.
We need the extra money, and also because it's illegal for us to take extra work outside what we're contracted
Yeah.
with,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the public schools. So the only extra work you can do if you want extra money, the only stuff you can do is stuff that you're offered to by your school, or this was from another school actually. But it's all totally fine and legal. It's like if you look for other work outside that it becomes illegal.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do an extra Saturday class. It's like 4 periods on a Saturday morning, and it pays relatively well, and it pays enough for us like to fund a lot more holidays than we thought we could do. So that's why we decided to do it. So there are options, like if you need to make more money.
Okay, so at school, what we actually teach is from is it books issued by the government?
Well, I do YBM. Well, we're
YBM.
supposed to, but I don't teach from the textbook.
Okay, so yeah, so you do have textbooks, and depending on the level of your students, you might teach straight from the textbook, or you might just go buy the textbook and take the ideas from it, but then like change it up and do
Yeah.
something more advanced, depending on the level of your students. So I know.
And depending on your co-teachers as
Yeah.
well.
Right, yeah. That's probably the biggest factor, depending on your co-teacher, whether they're enthusiastic about teaching English.
Yeah.
And obviously they're going to know the students better than you because they've been there for a while, so they know what the students are capable of.
But yeah, I think like in terms of like teaching methods, some co-teachers you might have might be really like traditional and they want to teach by the textbook and they want to have very like, I don't know what some people might consider to be like traditional teaching methods, and like some teachers like the new one that you had
Yeah. My case is really different from you guys.
like
So
you wanted to
I-
do something completely different.
Yeah. I teach with, so my 5th grade co-teacher, we do flipped classroom teaching. Anything textbook related, we just make a video and the kids, like a 5-minute long video, they watch it at home. So that covers the vocab. And then in class, we do a lot of activities and games and like conversations. I tried to debate with my 5th graders and that went okay. We had like a taste testing class and like just to learn like to use words, and we had like I had the kids make restaurants and menus. So like you're a waiter and a chef, and then you're a customer.
Yeah, you have like really activity based classes.
Yeah, very different.
But then you had your headmaster, like headmistress, come in for one of your lessons.
So the principal didn't like that we were doing so many activities because she's like, well, so what Korea likes is teach to the test. If the kids do well on the test, then the school does well.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm like, these kids aren't going to use that type of language in the real world. And like half of these kids, they're like, oh, well, I'm like, why do you want to learn English? Well, I want to travel. I want to do this. And I'm like, okay, so like, how can we use English actively?
Yeah, I feel like the most important thing is making kids enthusiastic about learning English rather than like teaching some of like the very questionable phrases that the textbooks want us to teach.
What's in there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, like there's some odd stuff that textbooks want us to teach the children. So I think having a curriculum to work from is like having a structure is good. Yeah, I guess flexibility with like not having to use the textbook depends on your co-teachers.
Right.
Yeah, you have to respect what they want basically. But
yeah,
some co-teachers are like very free and let you pretty much do, like they trust you to do what you think is best for the students.
Alex, what are some titles from the lessons?
Some titles from the lessons. Oh, it depends on the textbook. Some like textbooks are
wait.
very strange.
Wait, what about like, I want to feed the pigs?
Oh, like, I want to feed the pigs.
I
That's
want to
like,
feed the pigs. For
like-
kids living in Seoul, like this is like really important.
I want to pick apples. I want to paint the wall. I want to pick up the trash. Or like titles like, touch here, please. Like, when has anyone ever said, touch here, please? Those 3 words.
No, there's been a situation I've seen, right, in Alex's hallway.
That was do not touch.
No. There's a washing machine in his hallway that has a sign on it saying, don't touch here, please.
Yeah, okay. Not touch here, please.
From a text.
Not touch here,
don't
please.
touch here, please.
But yeah.
Anyway,
Take consent at a young age.
But yeah, like, there are some students who unfortunately need the rigorous structure of the textbook because essentially a lot of students will go to private academies after school to learn English, but then also a lot of students won't, and depending on what school you go to, there's going to be different proportions of those students.
Yeah.
And I think at my school, I've been told as well, this by teachers, that the parents of these children aren't particularly bothered about their kids studying hard. They want their kids to have lots of friends
Which is
and
great.
have a nice time.
That's good.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite unusual for Korea.
Yes.
Usually the parents want their kids to study very, very hard.
Elegant.
That unfortunately means that there's quite a big gap between how good some of the students are and also how motivated they are to actually learn. Which means if you're trying to teach extra, like, oh, but did you know this as well? The kids are not interested.
No.
We basically usually just have to make them jump through the hoops.
Yeah, jump through the hoops
and
and make
hope
games
that-
to like trick them into learning.
Yes.
But also just like hope that you can make sure they can read.
Yeah.
Make the basic sounds of the English language, because you will find that you have 6th graders who can't do that still.
Don't know the alphabet.
Yeah. And like the myth about Korean children being like the most perfect, angelic. I don't know, like
Kids are kids.
Kids are kids. Kids are
Kids
kids everywhere. So don't expect to
Yeah.
come over and have like perfect classroom behavior or anything silly like that. Kids are kids everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's good
Think about what you were like when you were 12.
yeah.
No.
So depending on what kind of co-teacher you have, it might change your whole experience teaching and like just your whole experience in Korea actually.
Yeah, it's
because
true.
for the most part, one of your co-teachers is gonna be like your lifeline to
Yeah.
everything here. Okay. So you guys want to explain what your main co-teachers do for you?
They can either do everything or they can do nothing.
Yeah.
Or they could do everything, but like
Not very well. Yeah.
Or yeah,
Like my co-teacher, like the one who is my main, they call them your handler. They handle you. Your handler. I share my English classroom with her. It's just me and her. We have a very good relationship. Just as a co-teacher, she's really great. We're really open about our lesson planning. But in terms of her helping me, it's like constant. Like I always have questions for her, and she does above and beyond to like help me. Like even when I think she's not helping me, like I'll ask her something and she'll help me a little bit, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's great." And then like 10 minutes later, she'll have just been like searching the thing that I asked her and come back with an even better answer. Or even like half an hour later, she'll come back with a whole thing, and I'm like, "Please don't. You don't need to do this. It's totally fine." But like, yeah, she really just, and it's not just to do with work. She does everything to do with work, everything that is necessary in terms of like administration.
Yeah.
Like we're renewing our contracts at the moment, so there's a lot of like stuff with the immigration office we need to sort out, everything we need in terms of that. But then there's like everything else on top of that. Like if I ever have any questions about holidays or like booking anything, booking like transport, booking things, like language, can you check this? Can you help this? Like she does everything.
Yeah.
Like so that's like the best of the best of the best. Like they are like your sidekick and like help you do everything.
So it's actually their job to help you, but it just depends on how much they want to help you.
Yeah.
It really depends on that. They help you set up your cell phone when you first get here. They help you settle in. Like mine went grocery shopping with me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was like way past school hours. Like she only has the same time, 4:40, but it was like 6 o'clock, and she was still out with me, helping me carry groceries and stuff like that. And so they, like, if they're really gonna help, they really help you out. It's really nice. And they answer all your stupid questions that you have. All your dumb questions. Like, we all have dumb questions. And you feel stupid asking because you're like, back at home, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
But here, I have no idea. And so that's what they can be there for.
Yeah.
And if they're really nice, they'll help you out and like go out of their way to find answers and figure it out for
They really
you.
do.
Yeah.
But they can also not. Sometimes you don't know who you're going to get as a co-teacher. Sometimes they can be a very experienced teacher.
Yeah,
who's
depends
done
on
it
that
many,
too.
many years. And sometimes it can be a teacher that's doing it for the first time and they're very inexperienced.
Perhaps the job has just been like foisted on them.
Yeah.
Perhaps they never even wanted to be an English teacher.
Right.
Actually, my first handler was, she was first year teaching, youngest teacher at the school. She just had to do it, so she has no idea what to do.
Yeah.
Never taught English before. She's also new at the school, so she doesn't know like the administration process. So we actually kind of did it together.
Yeah.
The two of us were really, like, we're really close. And everybody that talks, oh, it's so cute. The two younger ones are like we had to be close. Like, we're like, so what do we do? And I'm like online figuring it out in English, and she's online figuring it out in Korean. We're like, okay, we need to book an appointment. I'm like, yes. Book an appointment.
Well, what's your situation? Like, what's your...
With my co-teachers?
Yeah.
With us, how like they handle my handlers?
I guess you don't need to be handled as much because it's not your first year
'cause
here.
you know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think I actually think I make it less stressful for them because I kind of take care of things on my own and I kind of know the ropes for things. So I think
you don't need them as much.
I think they like that actually.
Yeah.
Well, that's less work.
It's less work for them, and they're like she was saying, they have other work. They teach English and they do admin work, and they're not just there to like be at your beck and call.
No,
They're really busy.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I always have to think that when like, because I've got Heejin is just sitting across from me, and sometimes I'm like, I have a question I want to ask her, but I know she's really busy, and if I ask her, she will drop everything she's doing to go out of her way. So it's like pick the right moments to ask people questions.
Also, like I just decided to spread my questions around my teachers because I didn't want to be asking the same teacher every time to help me.
Right.
But rather kind of like pick the right time, pick the right place, like in between lesson. Oh, by the way, this thing on my phone.
Yeah, this
look
thing
at it, please.
that's really confusing.
I got this letter. What does it mean?
Yeah.
Do I have to pay this bill? What's this about?
Yeah.
Just like pick the time, pick the place, pick the teacher.
So we are at school for 8 hours a day, but we only teach 22 hours a week, so that doesn't really add up. So we actually have time to do things. So it's time meant to do lesson planning. But
You say that like it's not.
Meant to.
Okay, your first month you'll be lesson planning,
Right,
and prepping,
right.
and asking questions
Yeah.
and freaking out.
Yes, exactly.
Once you're like, it's like with any job. Once you got that down, it's like, well, now I've got some free time to learn Korean, read a book.
Like, it's not so hectic, like, after the first couple of months. First couple of months, it feels like, oh my god, I'm squeezing all this lesson planning into, like, just getting it done in the week. Like, but after, like, the first couple of months, it, like, mellows out. You've
Because
got, like, time to chill.
You find out, like, I started making, like, I started off when I started teaching, making games that were, like, took a lot of preparation.
Me too.
And sometimes
Rookie
they'd
mistake.
pay off.
Yeah, total rookie mistake.
Sometimes they'd pay off, and then other times
Most of the
they'd
times they would
fall
not pay
so
off.
flat. And I was just like, I spent hours on this, and
like,
these kids just
the more
don't
time
care.
that you'd spend like making the games, probably like the more that they would fail. So
But now I'm like, if I can come up with an idea for a game in like 5 minutes, and I can make it in 15 minutes, like
You
pat on the
golden.
back,
Yeah.
and then I go and start looking like what I want to actually do with the afternoon.
Exactly.
Some
Do
games
that.
can like I think the big thing is about like being able to reuse material
Yeah.
because it's the more like after a couple of months you realize the main thing is about how economical can I be with my lesson planning?
Yes.
How
Yeah.
like
That's what
practical
it's about.
can I be
Yeah.
with this?
To save time.
Yeah, to save time, like you want to be efficient with it
Right.
and not spend all of your week and you don't want to spend any time outside of school planning.
No.
Like it's not necessary. Like I was paranoid that when I first came here, I was going to have to spend time in the evenings doing lesson planning, and due to bad like planning the first maybe like couple of months I was here, that did happen a couple of times, but like once you get into your groove with things and work out how to make things quicker, and quicker doesn't necessarily mean worse either, or like more time doesn't necessarily mean better. Sometimes
No.
the quicker things
No.
can actually be like really successful in
Yeah,
the
the
class.
kids can like absolutely love
Yeah.
charades. They'll go like
Yeah.
crazy for charades, but it took you like 2 minutes to prepare.
Yeah.
But it
So it's
works.
not like more time is like necessarily like better for teaching.
Or you spend 3 hours doing a Sherlock game where the kids find clues and then
I spent so long doing a Sherlock PPT, like,
and then
and
they're
they
like,
weren't even that
they're
into
like,
it.
what is this? And I'm like, oh, but then
You
you
don't
find
even know.
clues. You find clues, and then you find like the big
Yeah.
answer, and the kids are like,
I don't
zombies.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, zombie game then.
Speaking of kids, let's talk about our students. Just briefly, we were just talking about how wonderful children are, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
The
kids
world
are
over.
great. I have to say, I wasn't initially in this for the kids. Like, I like children. I'm not an anti-children person, but I wasn't like, oh my god, kids are so cute. Like, I have to
Right.
teach the children.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel a bit more like practical about it. Some kids are cute, some kids difficult. Like
Yeah.
you get a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Like you always get a mixed bag. Like we were walking down the road the other day in my area, and like a load of girls from my 4th grade saw me and were like, oh my god, teacher, and then ran after me and like I said hi to them and like hugged them, and some kids, yeah, it was actually really
That's
lovely.
really nice.
And some kids are like so sweet and attentive, and then some kids are really not, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
That's fine.
That's fine, but you have to expect that and not think that every kid is going to hang off every word you say, because
Right.
they
Yeah.
won't.
No.
But remember, they're just kids, so
Yeah.
they get it somewhere.
Yeah.
So like maybe their parents or what they watch on TV. So
They're friends.
Yeah, they
they're
just
friends.
they want to be engaged. If you can engage them, then that's cool.
Yeah.
Right.
kids can really change though. Like if you show them you care, like really just that one semester, I've had some kids who are like, English, teacher, whatever. To like, oh, teacher, look at what I did. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
So I just want to tell you guys a brief story about an episode of some of the students. So when I first started the 6th grade class of that semester, we started in the middle of semester, so they didn't have like maybe just a few months with us by the time we got in. But I had a girl propose to me. And what she said was, teacher, will you marry me? And I said, sorry, I'm busy. I can't.
Sorry, I'm busy.
I can't.
That's like kind of heartbreaking though.
But that's like the Korean reply.
Is that
Sorry,
like-
I'm busy.
Yeah, like if anything.
These days, I'm so busy.
I can't. Sorry.
But like,
yeah.
what was her reaction though?
She was really
Was she
like.
expecting it?
No, she was like really chic, as Koreans say, really chic. She was really cool. She's like, well, yeah, that's
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
cool.
Like, fair enough.
It's alright, you're just like the second on my list. Okay? Don't worry about it.
Right. And then I actually had a boy propose to me. He got down on his knees.
Did it
That's
properly?
so cute.
Teacher, will you marry me? And again, I said, no, I'm busy. I can't. Don't.
Always
I
too
can't.
busy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Too busy for
If
me.
I had more time.
If I just had more time, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would marry you right now.
So I wanted Alex to share a story.
yeah.
His incident.
It's basically about like
Kids infiltrating your life.
yeah. So my Facebook, I use a fake name so that any workplace, actually, not just at school, any workplace, I don't want people I work with, people I work for, seeing my private life, or being able to access my private life.
Yeah.
Even if they just want to try add me or something, and then I have to do the awkward thing of like, no.
Sorry,
Like,
access
I'm not gonna accept
denied.
that.
Yeah.
So I always try to keep it secret. And it was the last day of the semester, the 6th grade, they were graduating, so they were saying goodbye to all the teachers, and these girls burst into the teacher's office. They were like taking selfies, like bye bye teacher, and then they saw me at my desk. I was just lazily scrolling through Facebook, and they were like,
Oh my
teacher,
God, teacher.
Facebook, teacher, and then so they start like adding themselves to my Facebook,
Like your whole like world
yeah.
just started
And it's like,
unraveling.
they infiltrated,
We got messages.
and I
Yeah.
got
Yeah, we all got a message
We're
like,
what do I do?
oh
What do
my
I do?
God.
I'm
How
freaking out.
How do I do it? Because like I don't want to like offend them and just like block them and like tell them to get lost because you know it's the last day of school and yeah, like how do I get these kids off my Facebook without hurting their feelings? Also, the fact that their English wasn't actually very good, although these girls had been quite attentive throughout my lessons. Also, I thought their English was very bad. So it was difficult to communicate. But eventually, I sent them a message saying,
no, but it was so funny because like you were like, oh, it's totally fine. Maybe like they're not even interested. Maybe they're not even like whatever. And then they started
Yeah.
commenting on your profile
they
pictures.
started like doing
He was
comments
like,
and tagging other friends
Oh,
into
no.
it.
Yeah.
And I just had to be like
shit.
sort it out. So just,
Lockdown.
like, delete, like send a message. I'm saying like, sorry, can't be friends because it's not right. You'll understand when you're older. And then block them all.
No. Actually, there was an intermediary period after you sent that message that all of them started messaging at the same time and just
Oh
like
yeah.
crazy chat
Yeah.
and being like, no,
So like
Korean.
before I'd even go around to blocking them within like 30 seconds, then
Yeah, it was really intense.
yeah. And I thought I'd got rid of them, but then I realised their middle school was next door.
Oh.
And then you
Yeah.
just see them around.
Yeah.
Kids getting into your personal lives, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens.
So the moral of the story is do not leave your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, also your phone. Do not leave your phone open.
Keep
Make
it
sure
locked.
Keep it locked.
Yeah.
If you research my
can't hide,
Facebook, it's
yeah.
like, oh my god, we would never hire this person. Children ever. She should never be allowed within 10 foot of a child. Yeah. So Facebook is private.
Alright, we'll leave it on that note.
Facebook is private.
Alright, guys. Just want to say thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have any questions about anything, please leave them down in the comments below, and I will be sure to get back to you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye.